Imagine waking up to the sound of water gently rocking beneath your floorboards. The sun rises not behind windows, but over wide open lakes, casting golden reflections that dance across your walls. In these places, roads are rivers, schools float, churches glide, and life unfolds not on land, but on water. These are the floating villages of our world, where generations have built not just houses, but entire communities that drift, breathe, and endure with the tides. From the lotus-laced lakes of Asia to the vast wetlands of Africa and the Amazon, each place tells a story of resilience, of beauty, and of belonging. In this documentary, we invite you to step into these drifting worlds, to meet the people who call water home, and to discover what it really means to live a life afloat. Somewhere in the heart of Cambodia, hidden between fields of rice and quiet forests, the land gives way to water, and a world begins to float. Tonle Sap, the largest freshwater lake in Southeast Asia, is not just a lake. It's a living map of life on the move, a place where villages rise and fall with the breath of the monsoon. For 6 months, the lake shrinks. For the other 6, it swells, swallowing trees, roads, and entire fields. The water comes not as a flood, but as a tide of renewal, and the people here, they follow it. Homes rest on floating pontoons, tied loosely to each other, drifting gently like fallen leaves. Wooden houses painted in blues and greens, their reflections shimmering softly below. There are floating schools, where children arrive by boat, books tucked in plastic bags, paddling with hands too small for oars, but filled with purpose. There are floating churches, pagodas, and clinics, each one a sanctuary above the shifting surface of the lake. At the local market, vendors balance on narrow canoes, selling mangoes, fish, sugarcane. Transactions are done by voice, by wave, by trust. And at sunset, when the lake turns gold and everything seems to glow, the line between water and sky disappears. But this life isn't easy. The waters can be generous, but also harsh. During strong storms, homes can break loose, carried away by winds and current. Children learn early not just how to row, but how to anchor. And yet, ask anyone here if they would trade it, and they smile. "We were born on water," says an old fisherman, his skin weathered like the side of his boat. "It's in our blood. When we sleep, we rock with it. When we dream in waves." There's a rhythm here, slower than the cities, older than the roads. A life where the rising of the lake doesn't bring fear, but memory. In Tonle Sap, the lake is not an obstacle. It is the village itself. A village without borders, without concrete, but with a heart that floats. There is a place in northern Vietnam where the sea and sky blur into one, and where stone rises not from the ground, but from the depths of time. Halong Bay, a name that means descending dragon, a name born of legend, but carried forward by life. Among these towering limestone karsts, sculpted by wind, water, and centuries, are homes that drift quietly in the shadows of giants. Floating villages built on bamboo rafts and anchored in calm inlets, where life is measured not in footsteps, but in paddle strokes. For generations, fishing families have lived here, not beside the sea, but on it. The sea is their street, their pantry, their mirror, their rhythm. At sunrise, longboats slip silently between the islands, nets cast wide into the emerald waters. Children help their mothers sort the morning catch, tiny hands separating fish from crab, laughter echoing across the bay. Schools float, shops float. There's even a community hall where elders gather, sipping tea as water laps gently at the wooden stilts. The cliffs are so high they block the wind, and in the stillness, the sound of an oar slicing water feels like a whisper from another world. But life here is not just poetic, it is precise. Every home must be balanced, every knot tied with care. Storms don't knock, they come suddenly with a roar. And still, the people stay. Because Halong Bay isn't just a beautiful place, it is home. In a modern world obsessed with speed, these floating families remind us how to be still, how to live with the tide, not against it. When the sun sets behind the karst and the bay turns to molten gold, the lanterns flicker on, one by one, as if stars have descended to rest gently on the water. In Halong, the dragon may have descended, but the people have risen and learned to live where land never was. In the still waters of Lake Nokue, just outside the bustling city of Cotonou in Benin, floats a village unlike any other in Africa or the world. Ganvie, a city built not on land, but on water. No cars, no bicycles, no roads, just canals, just boats, just life, adrift yet anchored in resilience. They call it the Venice of Africa, but its story is far older and far more profound. Centuries ago, when slave raids swept across West Africa, the people of the Tofinu tribe fled to the only place the raiders would not follow, the lake. According to legend, the warriors of Dahomey believed their powers ended where water began, and so the lake became sanctuary. With nothing but courage and canoes, the Tofinu built homes on stilts. They planted stakes deep into the lakebed and built a floating world above fear. Generations later, Ganvie remains, not as a relic, but as a living city. With over 20,000 people, it is one of the largest lake settlements on Earth. Children row themselves to school, their uniforms flapping in the morning breeze. Vendors paddle from house to house, selling bread, fish, and stories. Every corner hums with life, the splash of oars, the call of women weaving nets, the soft creak of wood shifting on water. The market floats, the mosque floats. Even the cemetery rests on its own island of reeds and mud. And yet beneath the quiet beauty lies constant adaptation. Water levels shift, fish migrate, climate changes press against tradition. But the people of Ganvie adjust, not by resisting the water, but by becoming part of it. To live here is not to conquer nature, but to listen to it, to ride its rhythms, to trust in its silence. As the sun sets, painting the lake in molten orange, the village glows with the warmth of dusk, a reminder that this place, born of pain, has become a sanctuary of peace. Ganvie is not just a village on water, it is a testament to ingenuity, to freedom, and to the enduring human spirit that refuses to sink. On the shimmering surface of Lake Titicaca, nestled between the mountains of Peru and Bolivia, there floats a world both ancient and handmade, the floating islands of the Uros. These are not metaphorical islands. They are real physical places, woven entirely from a single plant, totora reed. Layer by layer, root by root, the Uros have crafted not only islands, but entire lives atop these floating beds of vegetation. Their ancestors once fled to the lake to escape conflict on land, and instead of hiding in fear, they built something no one could take away, a home that floats, moves, and grows with the water. Each island is anchored loosely, tied to the lakebed with ropes and sticks. Some can be untied and relocated. They are alive, not just culturally but physically. The reed must be replaced constantly, laid fresh on top as the older layers rot below. Even the houses, boats, and towers are made from this same material. It bends, it breathes, it holds. Children play on soft, spongy ground. Elders sit on reed benches, weaving more reeds, teaching stories that are older than the mountains around them. When the wind picks up, the entire village seems to sway gently, not with fear, but with grace. The church, the school, the communal kitchens all rise and fall together. Nothing here is permanent, and that is precisely the wisdom. Totora isn't just a plant, it is a way of life. It provides shelter, transport, insulation, and even medicine. The Uros people have lived like this for centuries, long before cameras and curiosity found them. And though tourism has brought modern edges to their world, many families still live by the old ways, choosing the soft steps of tradition over the hard concrete of change. As twilight descends over Lake Titicaca and the sky turns from blue to flame, smoke rises from small cooking fires and the scent of boiled fish drifts across the water. There are no roads here, no fences, just the sound of oars, the whisper of reeds beneath your feet, and the knowledge that this place, fragile as it may seem, has endured longer than many cities built of stone. To float for the Uros is not to drift. It is to choose a different kind of grounding, one rooted not in soil, but in soul. In the floodplains of Cambodia, where earth and water trade places with the seasons, there stands a village that does not resist the rising tide, but rises with it. This is Kampong Phluk, a stilt village on the edge of the great Tonle Sap Lake, where homes are built not on land, but above it, 5, sometimes 6 meters high, waiting for the water to come. For half the year, it is a forest of wooden legs. The ground below is dry, dusty, cracked. Children run along the stilts, climbing up narrow ladders like squirrels up trees. Boats rest on the dirt, unused, their bows pointing skyward. But then the rains arrive and the transformation begins. Tonle Sap swells, rivers reverse, and Kampong Phluk becomes a village afloat. Where once there were streets, now there are canals. Where children once walked to school, they now row. The same wooden houses now cast reflections on the water. The same trees, half submerged, become silent pillars beneath the rippling surface. It is not just adaptation, it is choreography, a dance between human life and the shifting mood of nature. And yet, that dance is changing. The seasons no longer follow familiar steps. The floods come sooner, stay longer, climb higher. The elders speak of times when the water was gentle, predictable. Now it is restless, fiercer storms, hungrier currents, and still the people stay. A young boy rows his siblings to class, their school uniforms pressed despite the humidity. His oar is handmade, worn at the edges. He is 8 years old. He smiles when asked about the water. "It is my road," he says. "It brings us what we need. It takes away what we don't." There is wisdom in that. Kampong Phluk teaches not how to fight the flood, but how to live with it. How to build your house tall, your boat ready, and your spirit steady. It's a way of life that honors impermanence, accepting that nothing stays dry forever, and that sometimes survival means surrendering to the current, not resisting it. At dusk, when the sky blushes pink and the water glows with the last light of day, the village falls silent. Cooking smoke rises in thin spirals from elevated kitchens. A mother lifts a bucket of lake water to bathe her child. A fisherman secures his boat with double rope, just in case. And across the floodplain, the soft creaking of wood reminds us that everything here is temporary and yet enduring. Kampong Phluk is not a place of defiance, it is a place of resilience. And in a world of rising waters, that might just be the lesson we need most. In the shadow of Lagos, the largest and fastest growing city in Africa, there floats a different world. A world without postal codes, without concrete, without recognition. A city without a name, but full of life. This is Makoko. Built on stilts above the murky waters of Lagos Lagoon, Makoko is a settlement that defies statistics, defies gravity, and sometimes defies belief. Here, tens of thousands live atop water that never sleeps. Wooden homes lean precariously on spindly poles. Narrow walkways creak with every step. Canoes glide through alleyways of trash and dreams. It is a place where the air smells of smoke, salt, and survival. Makoko is often called a slum, but to those who live here, it is home. And home in Makoko is not defined by walls, but by will. There is a school here, floating, built by the community, held up by plastic barrels and hope. Inside, children sit on benches made of old wood, scribbling in secondhand notebooks. Their teacher, young, determined, unpaid, teaches not just letters and numbers, but belief. Belief that even in the forgotten corners of the world, learning can light a way forward. Outside, a mother paddles her canoe past piles of floating debris, balancing a basket of fried plantains on her knees. She waves to a neighbor repairing his fishing net, nods at a group of boys building a toy boat out of discarded bottles. Life moves like the tide, chaotic, rhythmic, unstoppable. Makoko faces more than just poverty. It faces eviction, erasure. Every few years, bulldozers arrive. Promises of development echo from above. But where would they go? The people of Makoko were never invited into the city's future. So instead, they built their own. And yet, in this patchwork village of struggle, there is resilience you can feel in the bones. There is music, floating from radios balanced on porches. There is color, painted on doors, on boats, on faces. There is pride. At dusk, the lagoon shimmers with the reflection of distant skyscrapers. The contrast is sharp. Steel towers on one side, stilt houses on the other. But in Makoko, the lights still come on. Oil lamps, flashlights, candle flickers, tiny flames in the dark. Makoko is a reminder that even where the world sees nothing, there can still be everything. Family, laughter, hope, and the unshakable belief that no matter how deep the water, we float together. Along the eastern coast of India, where land meets the restless waves of the Bay of Bengal, there lies a lake unlike any other, Chilika. Neither fully sea nor fully freshwater, this brackish lagoon stretches wide and shallow, dotted with mangroves, birds, and boats that seem to move without sound. On its shores and within its islands, generations of fishermen have built quiet villages, simple, spiritual, and attuned to the rhythms of the water. Here, fishing is not an industry, it's a way of life. Men set out at dawn in wooden boats carved by their fathers, casting nets that have been mended 100 times. No sonar, no machines, just instinct, wind, and the pull of the moon. The lake provides fish, crabs, prawns, and the people in turn offer their prayers. Tiny shrines stand along the edge of the water, their flags fluttering in the morning breeze. Each catch is blessed before it's brought home. Each storm is watched with reverence, not fear. The villagers speak of the lake as if it were alive, mooded, generous, and sometimes silent. Some say that Chilika is a goddess. Others say it is an ancestor. But all agree, you don't take from it. You ask. As the sun rises, the lake turns to gold. Birds in the thousands descend from the sky. Flamingos, herons, storks, slicing through mist and reflection. Their wings beat in slow harmony with the paddles below. It is a sanctuary for both nature and the humans who depend on it. But the harmony is not without tension. The waters are changing, the salt grows stronger, the seasons arrive out of order. Fish migrate differently. The old men mutter that the lake no longer listens like it used to. The young men wonder if they will have to leave. And still, each day the boats return. Children help haul in nets, their feet splashing in the shallows. Women sort the catch under the shade of coconut trees. Smoke curls from clay stoves. Chants echo from temples on stilts. Life continues, not in defiance, but in rhythm. At dusk, the lake stills. The wind dies down. Lanterns flicker on the bows of boats, casting soft light across the ripples. Somewhere in the darkness, a flute plays, its melody drifting over the water like a prayer. Chilika is not a place of spectacle. It is a place of silence, of slowness, of surrender, where survival is tied not to control, but to listening. And in that listening, there is wisdom, ancient, fragile, and floating. In the heart of Thailand's countryside, just outside the bustle of Bangkok, a narrow canal winds through orchards, villages, and temples, its surface shimmering with sunlight and the reflections of passing boats. And here, every morning, something timeless begins to stir. Wooden canoes appear one by one, paddled slowly by women in wide-brimmed straw hats and colorful blouses. They are not headed to market, they are the market. This is Damnoen Saduak, Thailand's most iconic floating market, a place where commerce flows not over counters, but on water. Bananas, mangoes, coconuts, and dragon fruit piled high on the tips of boats that drift with practiced ease. Steam rises from pots of coconut soup and sizzling skewers. The air is thick with the scent of lemongrass, charcoal, and ripe pineapple. Vendors smile as they pass each other, paddles dipping in perfect rhythm. Some call out prices, others simply gesture. There's no rush, no shouting, just the soft murmur of water and trade. For generations, this canal has been lifeblood. Built in the 19th century under royal command, Damnoen Saduak connected distant communities and allowed farmers to bring their goods to market. But it also preserved something deeper, a way of life. In a world that paved over its waterways, this market stayed afloat, literally and figuratively. The women who row these boats learn from their mothers, who learn from theirs. It is not just a job, it's an inheritance, a connection to the land, to the water, to the flavors of home. A ritual repeated thousands of times, yet never quite the same. Tourists arrive now, of course, cameras flashing, voices raised, but the soul of the market remains untouched. Behind the floating stalls are floating homes. Children wave from balconies. A monk paddles by in silence, collecting alms. And above it all, the rhythm of the canal continues, constant, ancient, alive. At mid-morning, the light softens, reflections deepen. A young girl hands her grandmother a papaya, carefully sliced and fanned open like a flower. They laugh. It is a simple moment, but in this place, simple moments are everything. Damnoen Saduak is not a museum. It's not a performance. It is living tradition, warm, bright, and gently rocking in the water. A reminder that sometimes the best way to preserve the past is simply to keep showing up. Day after day, paddle in hand, fruit on board, smile ready. In the vast interior of South America, hidden beyond the cities and far from the highways, there stretches a landscape that breathes with water. It is the Pantanal, the largest tropical wetland on Earth, a place where rivers spill over their banks, not in disaster, but in design. For much of the year, this land is not land at all. It is a sea of green and silver, teeming with life, and rising gently with the rains. And in the middle of it, built on wooden stilts in quiet strength, are floating villages, communities that do not fight the water, but live with it. Homes perch above the floodplain like birds in the trees. Boardwalks replace roads. Canoes replace cars. Children grow up not afraid of water, but guided by it. What makes this place truly extraordinary is not just the water, but what shares it. All around these villages, the Pantanal pulses with wildlife. Caimans glide past porches at dusk, their eyes like polished amber just above the surface. Capybaras, the world's largest rodents, gather in herds nearby, unbothered by the closeness of people. Jabiru storks, nearly 5 feet tall, stand guard in flooded fields. And at night the jungle sings, frogs, owls, insects, wind. Here, humans and animals do not merely coexist. They observe one another with curiosity, caution, and a quiet understanding. The villagers have learned to read the water, how its movement reveals the presence of fish or signals the approach of storm. They know when the jaguar is near by the silence of the birds. They know which tree bends first when the flood begins to rise. Fishermen cast their lines from platforms as kingfishers dive nearby. Women hang laundry in the breeze while macaws chatter in the branches above. The natural world is not somewhere outside, it is within the rhythm of every day. But it is not always gentle. Floods can rise too quickly. Storms can sweep in with no warning. And in recent years, dry seasons have burned longer, hotter. Fires now threaten what water once protected. Still, the villages remain, rebuilding, adapting, staying. At sunset, the sky turns to fire. Orange melts into violet as the wetlands glow. Caimans slip beneath the water. A boy rows home with his dog asleep at his feet. Smoke from a cooking fire curls upward in the still air. The Pantanal is not a land of edges. It is a land of in-between, between land and lake, between human and wild. And in that in-between, life finds its own kind of balance. Messy, beautiful, real. Just across the bay from San Francisco's towering skyline and rumbling highways, there floats a different kind of neighborhood. One without sidewalks, without driveways, without fences. Here, the front porch opens to open water, and the mail is delivered by foot, but the soul of the place arrives by tide. This is Sausalito's floating home community. Not houseboats, not cabins, but homes. Real, lived-in, hand-built dwellings that rest gently on the water, anchored not just by cables, but by character. For decades, this has been a haven for the dreamers, the artists, musicians, writers, craftspeople, people who chose water over asphalt, freedom over conformity, color over concrete. Walk down the wooden docks and you'll see it in every corner. A porch shaped like a seashell, a mailbox carved from driftwood, a rooftop garden spilling over with sunflowers. Inside these floating homes, life slows down. Mornings begin with coffee and gulls. Afternoons drift by with the sound of waves tapping at the hull. Evenings glow with warm lights reflecting across the bay. And when the fog rolls in, soft and silent, it feels like the whole world disappears, leaving only you, the water, and your thoughts. But this isn't just a lifestyle, it's a statement against the rush of modern life, against rising rent and shrinking space, against the idea that you have to own land to have a home. The people of Sausalito have built their own kind of neighborhood, one that sways with the wind, creaks with the tides, and invites you to exhale. There's a story in every window, a painter who's lived afloat for 40 years, a jazz musician who hosts concerts from his deck, a retired teacher who built her home from salvaged wood and memories. They don't just live on the water, they belong to it. Even as the city grows louder across the bay, this floating community remains quiet, colorful, calm. A reminder that home doesn't have to be still. It just has to feel like yours. And in Sausalito, it often feels like a dream you could walk into, or rather, paddle into. A place where you don't just live by the water, you live with it. High in the valleys of Kashmir, cradled by snow-capped peaks and orchards of apricot and almond, lies a lake that reflects not just mountains, but memories. Dal Lake, the jewel of Srinagar, is more than just a body of water. It is a mirror of longing, of romance, of time slowed to a whisper. Floating gently upon its surface are the houseboats of Dal, wooden mansions that rest like poetry on the lake, each one carved by hand with intricate latticework, floral motifs, and verandas that open to endless sky. Step aboard and you don't just enter a home, you enter a world. Inside, velvet curtains sway with the breeze. Brass lamps cast soft shadows. The scent of cedar and cardamom lingers in the air. Every detail feels like it was made for remembering. For afternoon tea served on porcelain trays. For love letters written by lantern light. For silence shared without needing to be filled. These houseboats have hosted generations of travelers, poets, diplomats, painters, and wanderers, each seeking not luxury, but beauty, not escape, but return, to something simpler, slower, more human. From the deck, you can watch the lake come alive. Shikaras, the slender wooden boats of Kashmir, glide past like dragonflies, paddled by men in woolen cloaks. Some carry vegetables, others flowers, others lovers wrapped in shawls. The lake is their road, their rhythm, their home. In the early morning, mist hugs the surface like breath on glass. And by late afternoon, the sun turns everything gold. In that hour, the houseboats seem to glow from within. A mother sets down a kettle of chai. A boy casts a fishing line with quiet hope. A couple, now old, sit in silence on the porch, fingers almost touching. This isn't just a way to live, it's a way to feel. A way to remember what the world used to sound like, before sirens, before engines, before urgency. Dal Lake is a place where time pools, where love lingers, and where beauty doesn't shout, it floats. It is for many a destination, but for those who've been, it's more than that. It's a memory you never quite leave behind. At the edge of the world's largest mangrove forest, where land, river, and sea blur into one shifting breath, there exists a place where survival is not a given, but a choice made every single day. This is the Sundarbans, a vast, tangled labyrinth of mud, salt water, and silence. And scattered within it, like whispers among the tides, are floating villages that defy the rules of safety, stability, and sometimes even gravity. Life here begins and ends with the water, but this is not a peaceful lake. It is a living force, brackish, unpredictable, and filled with shadows. Tides rise quickly, cyclones strike without mercy, and beyond the horizon of fog and reeds, the most feared predator in these parts waits, the Royal Bengal tiger. It swims, it stalks, it watches. In the Sundarbans, the line between man and wilderness is paper thin, and yet families live here, on stilts, on boats, on floating platforms made from bamboo and hope. They fish in waters where salt and fresh mix in constant tension. They raise goats in pens barely above the floodline. They plant mangroves, not for harvest, but to hold the shore together when the storm comes. Children grow up with salt in their hair and instinct in their bones. They learn early how to read the sky, how to paddle silently, how to return home before the tides forget them. A fisherman ties his boat to the kitchen ladder because the next meal and the next escape both begin at water's edge. Every few years, a storm wipes away what took years to build. Roofs disappear, schools vanish, graves are swallowed. And yet the villagers return, they rebuild. Not out of stubbornness, but because this is home. Not in spite of its danger, but because of its strength. There's a strange beauty here. The light filters through tangled branches like stained glass. Crocodiles bask beside herons. Silence drapes over the villages like a wet blanket, broken only by the distant rumble of a boat, or the rustle of something unseen. At night, when the stars reflect off the black water and the wind dies down, the Sundarbans feels ancient, sacred, untouchable. But within that stillness, hearts beat, fires glow, life continues, not loudly, not easily, but fiercely. These floating villages do not seek comfort, they seek balance. Not dominance over nature, but coexistence within it. A daily negotiation, a fragile truce. And in a world where humans often build walls, here they build rafts. Where others retreat, they adapt, they remain. Because in the Sundarbans, to live is to endure, and to endure is its own kind of victory. Off the coast of Hiroshima, where the Seto inland sea glitters like scattered pearls, there lies an island where the line between the human and the divine begins to blur. Miyajima, an island so sacred, even the trees are said to whisper the names of gods. And rising from the water, red against the blue, ancient against the ever-changing tide, stands the Torii of Itsukushima Shrine. Not on land, but in the sea itself, as if the spirit world needed no bridge to reach this one. At high tide, the gate floats. At low tide, pilgrims walk the seafloor to touch its barnacled legs. Either way, it remains, unmoved, watching, waiting. They call it a floating shrine, but that's not quite right. The shrine doesn't float, time does. When the sun begins to rise and mist dances across the water, it's as if everything, history, memory, even breath, pauses. The world does not hurry here, it bows. Inside the shrine, vermilion pillars echo with 1,000 footsteps long vanished. The planks creak under your feet, weathered by salt, by storm, by the prayers of generations. No walls surround you, only open corridors, wind, and the sound of water. This is not a place that contains silence. It becomes silence. Lanterns sway gently in the sea breeze. Paper amulets rustle like leaves. A monk lights incense, and the smoke rises slowly, like a thought returning to the sky. The seasons paint the island in their own quiet calligraphy. Spring blushes the shrine with cherry blossoms. Summer hums with the lull of cicadas and sea. Autumn sets the hills ablaze in amber and gold. And winter brings a stillness so deep, it feels like a hymn. Itsukushima is not hidden. It is not forgotten. It is famous, even crowded at times. And yet somehow, it has held on to something rare, a silence that still listens, a presence that does not ask to be seen. Visitors come with cameras, but they leave with something else, a softness in their step, a quiet in their chest, a feeling they can't quite name. Because this is not just a shrine, it is a memory of balance, a reminder that in a world built on speed, there still exists a place that asks only this: stop, look, breathe. Let the sea hold your reflection. Let the sky borrow your breath. Let the sacred find you, not in noise, but in stillness, like a red gate rising from the ocean, welcoming you home.